Good evening, people. Titus here for part 7 of our Blender series where we model a flashbang. In this video, we're going to tackle the pins to secure our rings to our model, so let's not waste any time and jump right into it. Alright, in the last one we used the Archimedean curves to create our ring and our triangle. So right now we're going to steal some geometry. I did rename them to Ring 1 and Ring 2, so if you want to follow along with my naming convention. We'll start with the circle ring. Let's go ahead and tab in to edit mode, and let's grab, we'll go to edge select, we'll hold alt and you can click on any of these edge loops here. I'm going to click on that one there. Shift D to duplicate, then you can right click to snap it back. We'll then press P to separate by selection, and now if we tab back into object mode we can select that new ring, tab back in edit mode, and then we have access to that geometry. Kind of like that. Alright, so what we'll do is we are going to scale it up first. Kind of like that. And then let's tab into edit mode and go to vertex select. We'll select one of the back vertices here and press X to delete. We'll delete the vertex. And then we can select these two vertices here. We'll go to front view with 3, and then we can extract, lock it in the Y, and then just pull it out the back of the model, kind of like that. We can swing around here. I'm going to grab this guy, and in the Z axis, I'm going to bring him really close to his neighbor. We'll select them both with Shift, extrude again in the Y, and we'll pop it maybe right about there. I'm then going to grab the top one, and in the Z, I'm going to put him really high up because I kind of want like a bobby pin type look, and then I'll grab his neighbor and kind of bring him pretty close. I'm going to select that vertex, Control B, V to bevel him out. I'm going to scroll wheel up to add 3 segments. Do the same thing with the bottom, Control B, V for vertex, and then bring him out like that. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that segment. Then we got the skeleton. Let's go ahead and grab him in the X, and then we will rotate in the Y, bring him down a smidge, and I think I am actually pretty okay with that. So we're going to grab both the ring and the pin. We'll bring it down right around there, and then we'll grab in the X, bring it out, maybe grab in the Y, snap him back just a bit, just to give a little bit of room, and yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now I did move this out a bit, so I think what we'll do is with isolation mode, we can select the end pieces, Control plus to grow the selection, come out of isolation, grab in the Y, and we're just going to make that piece a little bit longer. Tab back in object mode. Now this is still technically a mesh, so we can't mess with the curve settings, but we can simply right click, convert it to a curve. That'll unlock our curve options. Under geometry, we'll find the bevel section. There's a resolution and a depth. We'll increase the depth to 0.03. So we got some thickness. I'm going to bring the resolution down to 3 because I think 4 is a little bit too much. Maybe 2. Honestly, I'm leaning probably 2, but I'll give it 3 against my better judgment. Now, I want to unlock this geo. If I go into edit mode, I don't have access to it. So what I can do is right click, convert it back to a mesh, and now when I go back in edit mode I have access to that geometry. Go back to edge select, I'm going to hit alt and select one of these bottom loops, shift alt and select 3 others, just like that. I'll press X and I'll collapse or dissolve those edges. That'll give us a much skinnier pin. We're going to go ahead and press Alt and select these edges and fill them. And press F to fill. And we can come around and right click shade smooth, see how that looks. Looks a little bit tall, so we'll have to work on that, but before we do that, let's hit it with a subsurf. And that'll actually skinny it out as well, so still looks like it needs to be modified a bit. Let's select Shift, the ring, and the handle. Bring those into isolation mode. Go to 3 for our objects front view, I should say. Select the pin, go into edit mode. Let's go to edge select, and I'm going to select this edge here. I'm going to grab, and I'm going to bring him down. Actually, let's go face select, and let's try that instead. And then we'll hold Alt, hit the bottom one. What I'm trying to do is get this piece to be a little bit skinnier, which works pretty well there. I think another way we can do this, let's hold this guy here, select that. Whoops, I need to go back into side view here. And that might be as close as we can get it actually. Let's try the bottom. Ah, there we go. All right, what we want to do is get these top and bottom parts as close as possible so we don't have to cut that big of a hole inside this mesh here. Let's come out of isolation mode, shift select this guy, grabbing the X, bring it back, just give just a little bit of breathing room there. And I am pretty happy with that shape so far. Now what we can do is just simply come into back view with Control 1. Then I can Shift D to duplicate my pin, put it around there. Oops. And then I am actually going to rotate him in the Y. And maybe right around there. And let's go ahead and grab him. Looks pretty good. All right, so this pin is slightly askew. I kind of like that. I don't want them to be the same. I might even select both these shapes and then rotate on the Y. Maybe just a little bit like that. Just to give some variance, make it look a little bit more organic. I'm then going to grab just the triangle, rotate on the Y, actually sorry, the X. I'm going to slide him out a bit. And now I need to figure out what to do with this ring. I'm going to rotate him on the X. And I think I will have him maybe slope down just a bit. So maybe rotate on the Z. And that's going to be a little bit difficult because it's going to pull him out of the ring. So I have to grab him like that, which is maybe okay. And I will rotate him down on the X so he's touching there. Rotate X, maybe on the Z. Rotate X back up a little bit so he's not digging in. And this is the part where it's a little bit trial and error here. I think that's as much as I can get on that side, and then I just have to make sure that this guy is not touching over there. All right, That looks a lot better. All right, so now I just need to place the triangle appropriately. So we'll rotate, let's try the X. And then let's rotate along the Z. Rotate on the X back down. And I am getting there. Rotate X back up. That looks pretty organic there. Maybe this guy needs to go in a bit. All right. What do you guys think? Not too bad? Terrible? Don't like it? Love it? Like I said, this part's a little bit tricky, but it's the small details that matter. So, you know, give it like 5 or 10 minutes, move the shape around, kind of rotate it around. You can also rotate from global to local, and the axis might spin a little bit different. In the last video, we set the pivot points to be at the top to make this part a little bit easier for us. Otherwise, it can be a little bit of a pain. But you're looking for something that kind of gives the illusion of physics, and you just got to be careful where the mesh isn't quite digging in. Kind of where you're looking around and stuff, but you know what, I'm actually pretty happy with that. We can go zooming around real quick, looking at all our different angles. Yeah, I think that looks pretty okay. All right, everyone, we'll cut it there for now, and we'll save the next one. We're going to be doing, we got to punch some holes through the handle and the fuse, and we also have to do some text accents on the caps as well, the top and bottom. But we'll save that for the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing, and see you on the next one.